What's good, Wizards fans? Last night was another day, another dollar. I forgot to say that last night, but good win. We got to move on. We can't focus on the past, even though it was a good win. We just got to build on it. We have a tough task against the Philadelphia 76ers. Play at 1 p.m. on a Sunday, just like Washington football versus the Eagles. You know how we brought out the brooms and swept the Eagles. Let's see if we can do the same thing to the Philadelphia Sixers, which I personally don't think we're going to sweep them. I don't think we're going to get swept either. I think it's going to be a tougher series than what a lot of people think. I think it's going to be a tough, grinded out series. So the bad blood with Joel Embiid, my man Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double, where he waved goodbye back when he was with OKC. And then you saw the interview where I think the reporter was like, hey, are you friends with Joel Embiid? I'm probably botching the interview. I don't remember word for word. And then Russell Westbrook was like, F no. So some pretty funny bad blood. And then remember Russell Westbrook with the meme. He's like, this guy, the fan in Philly's giving him the middle finger. And then Russ just points and he's like, what's up with this guy? What is this guy doing? So there's a bad blood in Philly. It's not going to be a full house in Philly, but there should be a good amount of fans there. And you know how it goes in Philly, man. Their fans are crazy. So this is going to be a fun series. Bradley Beal dropped 60 points against the Philadelphia Sixers in the game. Now, we did get swept during the regular season. And Philly they're a really good defensive team. Now, we had the opportunity, and I'm really happy that we're playing the Sixers rather than playing the Nets. This is the matchup that I personally wanted because Ben Simmons can't shoot. And I think defensively, we should give him the Rajon Rondo treatment. Do not guard this man above the free throw line. Just stay back with your hands up. Force him to shoot a jumper. Make him uncomfortable. Make him shoot a jump shot. Make him shoot a three, which he's not going to shoot the three. That's not his game. That's not what he wants to do. Now, Ben Simmons, give him his credit. He's probably going to be first team all NBA. He's probably going to be, or second team all NBA, probably first team all defense. He has locked down defensively. Now, they are the 6th ranked team giving up points, and we are dead last, giving up 118 points a game, but we are ranked 3rd in scoring points a game. It's a track meet for us. We're better when we can get the basketball. Russell Westbrook gets the rebound, gets the ball, and just runs and just go. Kick it out to Bradley Beal or throw a lob to Daniel Gafford. Now, Daniel Gafford's really changed his team, and I gotta give our team some credit, man. We had a 0.6% chance of making the playoffs when we were 17-32, and then after the All-Star break, we finished up 17-6. To finish out 34-38 to make the 8th seed, or potentially somehow, we could have got the 7th seed. We would have beat Boston. But the Wizards have come a long way. We're just a better team. We are a really good team right now. We're not better than the Sixers. I think the Sixers are the better team, depth-wise. You look at their bench, not just their starters, but I do like Tobias Harris. I think he's a solid player. Of course, Joel Embiid, who I think, in my opinion, is the MVP over Jokic. If I voted, I'd probably vote for Joel Embiid. It's very close. And then Seth Curry is a heck of a shooter. Danny Green is a good defender, but he's not stopping Bradley Beal, as we saw him put up 60 points. And they got Matisse Thybulle, who's a young up-and-coming defender. He's a solid defender, really darn good defender. So they got some length, man. They got a good bench. Dwight Howard off the bench. You know how it went with the Wizards with the back injuries, and then the rumors about him having a relationship with somebody. I'm not going to get too much into that. And then who else they got? They got Tyrese Maxey off the bench. I like him out of Kentucky, the rookie. Shake Milton has cooked us up a couple of times. Who else off the bench? Kirk Moss, he's a really good shooter. Already talked about Seth Curry. They got some good players off the bench too. They're a pretty darn deep team. Mike Scott is still on the roster too, if I'm not mistaken, the former Washington Wizard. So they have some go-getters on that team. Like I said, Shake Milton, he kills us every time. They got some go-getters on that roster. But honestly, the way I would defend the 76ers, Joel Embiid, you're going to have to double him a couple of times. You're going to have to make other people make shots and beats, which they can with Seth Curry, but not double him too much. Let's shade him. I was watching some film a couple of years, not too long ago, when the Raptors shut down Joel Embiid. He had 0 points. He was 0 for 7 from the field, or 0 from 11 from the field. I remember that game. That was pretty darn fun. Whenever Drake was laughing at him because he was so bad that game. But if you look at their defense, they would send Norman Powell to double Joel Embiid just to get up in his face, and then they would rotate back. Now, I don't know if Scott Brooks is capable of coaching that up, but if you just run at him, get your hands up and then run back to the shooters like Seth Curry, Danny Green. Just get up in his face, then run back. Rui Hachimura, Daniel Gafford would be guarding Joel Embiid. Who else could run at him? Raul Neto. Just put your hands up and then run back to the shooters, just to show them that you're there, and do a great job of not getting that defensive 3 seconds, because they run their offense through Joel Embiid, of course, through Ben Simmons. And when he gets double, he finds the shooter. Now, Joel Embiid, he can face up. He'll face you up. He'll jab you. Then he'll shoot the jumper. We want him to shoot jumpers. We don't want him to keep killing us in the post. You know, when we were playing them in the first couple of times, we had Thomas Bryant, who's not the best defender. And we have a better defender in Daniel Gafford. Now, I know a lot of Sixers fans are going to comment on here and say he put up 50. I did not see that game. But Daniel Gafford's a heck of a defender. We have 3 bigs that we can throw at him: Robin Lopez, and also Alex Len. So we have a platoon of bigs that we can, multiple big bodies that we can throw at Joel Embiid that are better at defending than I think Thomas Bryant is. And they have to use up all their fouls. Try to take some charges here and there. He can get a little overzealous, and he can get a little over control. He can put his head down sometimes, and you can take a charge on Joel Embiid. So that's what we're just going to have to do. We're going to have to rotate on shooters. Honestly, with rotation, the starter's going to be, of course, Russell Westbrook, Mr. Triple-Double, Bradley Beal, who was second in scoring in the NBA this year. And then, of course, Raul Neto probably will start. And I would start Gafford or Alex Len. And then, so Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Raul Neto, Rui Hachimura, and then Alex Len or Gafford starting. And then Robin Lopez off the bench. I would limit Bertans' minutes because he can really be a liability defensively. So I would definitely limit his minutes, and then try to give Chandler Hutchinson some more minutes, or Garrison Matthews more of Davis Bertans' minutes, because they're just better defenders. We're going to have to lock in and defend, guys. We're going to have to rotate on this perimeter because they can shoot threes. They got shooters. They made some moves. They got rid of Al Horford, who was clogging up space for the Sixers. And they got guys that can pull the trigger from 3 and knock it down, like Seth Curry. Seth Curry was killing us during the regular season. Shake Milton, guys like that. So we're just going to have to step out there and defend. We really have to move our feet. And guys like Bertans, honestly, if he's not hitting threes, he's got to sit. And I think the reason why we played pretty well against the Pacers, not to pile on Davis Bertans. I like Bertans. I think he's a good shooter. He's just overpaid. But if we want to defend and lock in and be better at defending, we're just going to have to put some guys that can actually move their feet on defense. Bertans just can't move his feet. It is what it is. Rui Hachimura is going to be an X factor. He is. I mean, you saw him palm the ball like Dr. J against the Pacers last night. That's the stuff he's going to have to do. You know, Tobias Harris, that's going to be a tough matchup, but he can score on Tobias Harris. I think he can really hit that jumper on him, that turnaround J, and face him up and take him to the cup and score on him. Nobody's checking Bradley Beal. Russell Westbrook is an X factor as well. We don't want him to shoot a lot of threes. A big stat from last night that he only shot 1 3. When Russell Westbrook is getting to the cup, he had 15 assists and only 3 turnovers last night. When you get numbers like that, he's basically a quarterback. You know, 3 interceptions, but he threw 15 touchdowns. Do you think of it that way? He's basically the quarterback of our roster, the quarterback of our team. And when his stats look like that, he's getting things done, only shooting 1 3. That's what we need from Russell Westbrook. He's getting to the cup and he's finishing hard. Now, Ben Simmons probably is going to be guarding Russell Westbrook. That's going to be a tough matchup because he's 6'9", and he can move, he's fast, and he's strong. So there's 2 strong guys, 2 strong point guards going up against each other. So Russ is going to have to hit that mid-range jumper. He's going to have to get that going. And if he does have an open 3, then take it. But Robin Lopez, you know, Captain Hookshot, who does have the highest hook shot percentage in the game, it is going to be tough against Dwight Howard. It's going to be tough against Joel Embiid as well. So that is going to be an interesting matchup as well. Bradley Beal versus Seth Curry and Danny Green. Like I said, Rui versus Tobias Harris, and Daniel Gafford versus Joel Embiid. All 3 bigs, honestly, versus Joel Embiid and Dwight Howard. The big man matchup is going to be very, very interesting. Ish Smith as well is going to be an X factor off the bench. He played really well against the Celtics, and down the stretch of the season, Ishmael Smith has played pretty darn well. Davis Bertans just has to show up. He has to hit. I need at least 3 threes from him. If he's not doing that, 3 or 4 threes. If he's not doing that, he needs to sit right next to Scotty Brooks or sit next to Cassius Winston at the end of the bench. Chandler Hutchinson, like I said, he's gonna have to get some minutes here. Robert Lopez is an X factor as well. Raul Neto, him hitting his shots off the bench and just that energy and hustling, diving for the ball, scrappy plays like that. He played with the Sixers last year. So the coaching matchup, Doc Rivers versus Scott Brooks, of course, Doc Rivers is the superior coach here. But I got to give Scott Brooks a little bit of credit for the game last night with some of the rotation that he had last night. So I thought that was pretty good. So, but key guys off the bench, like I said, is going to be Bertans, it's Smith, Gafford coming off the bench, Chandler Hutchison, guys like that, you know, and the bench, the rotation is going to get smaller. It's going to get smaller and smaller here. So I guess I'll get into my prediction here as we blew out the Pacers 142 to 115. Alex Lamb, Russell Westbrook. Yeah, so I'll get into my prediction here. So we play Sunday at 1 o'clock. I think it's going to be a tough game playing in Philly. I think we lose the first 2 in Philly, and then I think we actually win the next 2 in DC, but I think we end up losing 4-2. I don't think it's going to be a 4-1 or a sweep like that. I think Russell Westbrook is going to lock in, and Bradley Beal is just going to go off, because when those two play locked in and they play the way that they do, I think the second half of the year we were the best. We had the best backcourt, you know, because if you want to say Kyrie and Harden, those guys, you know, they had a lot of DMPs. They didn't play a lot, personal reasons. But Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, they played a lot of the season, and they played really well. I mean, Bradley Beal averaged 30 points a game, and then Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double in the way we went on that 17-6 run to end the season. Those two guys were the best backcourt. And you see last night when Russell Westbrook made that beautiful pass to Bradley Beal, he had that monster dunk, and then Russell Westbrook just turned up. You know, that was just an example of how well those guys have played in the last stretch of this season after the All-Star break. So I'm expecting those guys to definitely both be all third team, all NBA for sure. So shout out to those guys. So we just got to lock in. It looks like Bradley Beal is getting more healthy after you saw the dunk last night. So that's a good sign as well. We need Bradley Beal to be full strength here. We got to get to the free throw line. We got to make our free throws. You know, we put a lot of pressure on teams, and Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook, they get to the free throw line pretty easily because they can get to the cup. They're not going to get stopped getting to the cup. They're just too strong, and they have too many moves to get to the basket. So they're going to get to the line. They just got to convert on free throws. You know, so it's going to come down to defensively, how we defend Joel Embiid, how we rotate, got to rebound, simple stuff. And defending the three-point shot, getting back on defense, the pace. Some of the game's going to slow down. We're just a fast break team. That's how we are. That's how it is with Russell Westbrook and Bradley Beal. But we have to lock in with the basket. We can't turn the ball over as much as we do. We turn the ball over a lot. Russell Westbrook gets a lot of turnovers. They can't make the silly plays. They got to make the simple pass. And Gafford cannot get gassed. He cannot pick up a lot of fouls in the first half. Same thing with Rui Hachimura. Has to be smart with his fouls. But Alex Len and Robin Lopez, if they want to foul it up, go ahead. And then this change of pace, Ish Smith is going to be super important, and Robin Lopez is going to be super important as well in this series as well, because sometimes when Russell Westbrook's not making shots, Ish Smith comes in and he plays pretty well. He has a different tempo to him, and sometimes he shoots the ball better than Russell Westbrook. So, but we need Russ to go off. We need him to get mad and get that energy at Mr. Brody, hashtag why not. When he sees Joel Embiid, he gets pissed off. That's what we need from Russell Westbrook. So I have the series going to 6 right now, and I have us losing. The Sixers are favored by 7. So you guys let me know what you guys think, man. You guys have a great weekend. Hail to the Wizards. Peace.